Alright, so today we're under the garage. We're getting started on plumbing today. I am going to be installing 2 tanks underneath the bed in the garage, one for fresh water, one for gray water. Up until this point, I've been using this tank right here for my water solution, and it really hasn't been convenient. What's up, Starry? I got these two 25-gallon holding tanks I'm going to use for fresh water or gray water from Class A Customs. So I'm going to get all the big pieces out to figure out where I want everything to go. Okay, so this is basically how I think it'll be laid out. Filter and pump over in the corner. Heater down there. Alright, so I'm starting to put all the fittings on, and I'm gonna get as much done as I can before I realize what I forgot to get at the hardware store. Before I move on, I need to figure out where all these things are draining to. So I'm going under the van and gonna drill up a pilot hole approximately where I think it should be. Alright, so these are the 4 holes. This one's 1.25 inches for my 3/4 inch drainage pipe, and then these 3 are, I used a 3/4 inch bit, and this one will be for the hot water overflow from the hot water tank, and then these 2 will be vents, one from the gray water and one from the fresh water. Alright, got this fitting in here so I can go to PEX to go to my drain hole down there. PEX tubing used to scare me, or at least it looked super complicated, but it's really easy, especially if you're using these shark bite fittings. They look like this. Take this tool, you go to the 1/2 inch, since that's what I'm using, and you shave the end off. Then you mark it, how far it's supposed to go into the shark bite piece. And so I've got my shark bite here. There's the mark. And all I have to do is shove it in. Okay, now that I've finished this, I actually finished it several months ago, but haven't gotten around to finishing the videos. I made this little fill thing that you can attach to a regular hose, and you can shut it off right here at the source. So you can turn the hose on, walk over, and fill up your water tank. This is the cap for the fill. You just stick this in, and then make sure that this is in line to allow it to flow. And when you're done, just close it off, turn off your hose, put everything away, and close this guy. So now you'll have 25 gallons of water in the tank once you fill it, and it comes out this little barbed right angle 1/2 inch fitting, and through this 1/2 inch internal diameter hose, which runs back towards the water pump. So we meet up with it here, where it goes through this little particle filter into the water pump, and then out the other side through more 1/2-inch internal diameter tubing where it reaches the first T. It's a 1/2-inch barbed T that goes and is connected to the sink hose, which then runs to the bottom of the water filter right here. Water travels through the water filter, fills up, comes out the top, runs back, and down behind there runs up to the sink. So that's cold water. It continues on, and there's another T which leads to the hot water heater, as well as runs back to the outdoor shower for cold. Now from the hot water heater, this is where the water runs through, and obviously we get hot water. Anytime if there's an excess, it will get vented out through this 1/2-inch PEX tubing, which is connected with all these shark bite connectors, and that goes right down through the floor of the van here and to the outside. And when you need hot water, it'll then travel out here through this PEX tubing to this T, which one direction goes to the sink, and then this direction goes to the back of the van through some elbows, through some shark bite elbows and 1/2-inch PEX tubing. There's also a vent tube that comes from the top of the freshwater tank, and it runs back behind everything here down to the same spot where the vent tube goes through for the hot water, just back here and outside. So the sink hot and cold water tubes come through, back through here, run up to the faucet, which you have hot going this way and cold going this way. Down here I've also included a switch for the water pump, so you can turn it off when you're not using it. And then you have your drain, and your drain comes down through this flexible P-trap, comes up through here, which comes down and empties into the top of the gray water tank. Once the gray water tank is full, back here behind this is a electric ball valve, which releases the water through 3/4 inch internal diameter tubing down to here. Now under here, it hits an elbow at the top and an elbow at the bottom and gets run underneath the van and comes out right next to the ladder. To engage the gray water dump, you just flip the switch and it opens up that ball valve. I also installed a level in here, and the wires go up to the front of the van by my galley, so I can keep track of how much fresh water I have. And then whenever the fresh water is empty, it's usually assigned to empty the gray water. There's an outlet here wired, and so the top one is on a switch, which is also in my galley, and that allows me to turn off the hot water heater while I'm using the induction cooktop, which is plugged in here. It's a 2.7 gallon hot water heater, and it has a little thermostat on it. Ideal is usually pretty good. I put it just a little bit warmer than ideal, and that'll, if you're kind of using it sparingly, you can get 2 showers out of 1 tank.
How goes the water situation?
Well, the water pump is on, and it looks like it's filling up my hot water tank right now. And I have, oh, it's coming out the faucet. Got some black sludge coming through. Well, I think that's from the water filter. Okay, stream is steady now.